right, number one, given A4 is negative 12 and R equals 2, what is the first term? So we're going to use the red formula because it's got an R, and that one has an R in it. So what's going to go in for AN? Anybody? Negative 12 equals, so AN is negative 12. Do we know A1? Nope. So, all right, A1. And do I know R? What is it? 2. And what is my N minus 1? 3. So this right here, this 4 is my N. Subtract 1 gives me 3. Okay? So negative 12 equals A1, 2 to the third. I'll write the formula above it. Just so people know where it's coming from. Okay. I'm trying to get A1 by itself. Cole, how do I get A1 by itself? By what? 2 to the third. So you divide by both of those together. And anybody, what you got? All right. Anybody not get that? Okay, that one's a review one from yesterday. Number 2, given A1 equals 3 and A7 is 12,288, what is the common ratio? How do I know this one's geometric? Anybody? How do I know it's geometric? Because it says ratio. Okay, so that makes it geometric. Okay. Keith, what goes in for AN? Equals A1 we know is 3. Caitlin, do we know R? Nope. And Tanner, what goes in for N minus 1? 6. Okay, good. All right, for this one we're trying to get R by itself. Samantha, what do you do first? Very good. Anybody? What is that? Did I write it right? Okay. Paige, how do you get rid of the 6th power? You root it. So you go to math on your calculator, hit the math button, go down to number 5, and put a 6 on the outside. Anybody, what you got? Sorry? R is 4. Okay. All right, so those are 2 review problems from yesterday. Any questions? Okay, now we're going to do something kind of new. Number 3, which term is 78,732 in the sequence of 4, 12, 36, 108, ... Okay, this one is geometric. I would tell you on a test that it's geometric. So you want to use this. What do we think goes in for AN? Good, 78,732. What goes in for A1? 4. They don't tell me R, but can I find it? Yeah, how do you find R? Divide them, okay? So 12 divided by 4 gives you 3. Okay? Do I know N? No. Okay? I don't know N. It asks which term, that's what I'm trying to find. What is the term? N stands for the number of terms. Okay, so I'm trying to find that. Okay, so N minus 1 is with the 3 right now. What number do you think I could go ahead and move? 4. Okay, that's what I need to do first. Move the 4. How do you get rid of the 4? Divide it, because parentheses mean to multiply. So you need to divide. All right, what does that give you? Say it again. All right, does anybody remember from Math 3 how you get a variable out of the exponent? Anybody? No. What you have to do is you have to log both sides. So log of 19683 equals log 3 n minus 1. So you write log on both sides. Okay, that's what you do next. Write log on both sides. All right. The whole point of doing the log is that, if you'll remember from Math 3, when you have a log, the exponent gets thrown in front. The exponent gets thrown in front. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this down. Log 19683. Once y'all get the hang of it, you can start skipping some steps. But for now, let me write them out. So I'm dropping this one down. I'm going to put n minus 1 in front. And then drop down log 3. Yes. And you could also put them with the 3 too. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what letter am I trying to get by itself? N. Trying to get n by itself. The next thing I want to move is this log 3. Let's get rid of that next. How can I get rid of that log 3? Divide. Very good. So this is being multiplied. So I'm going to divide by log 3. Be careful in your calculator when you're typing it in. The log key's next to the 7. You should remember that from Math 3. The log's next to the 7. Log of 19683. You have to close your parentheses or you'll get the wrong answer. You got to close the parentheses, then hit the divide button. Log 3. And you get 9. All right, so 9 equals, I'm left with n minus 1. At this point, you can drop the parentheses because you're not multiplying by anything anymore. What do you think the last step is? Add 1 to both sides. So 10. What does 10 equals n mean? Very good. All right, let's try another one of those. Which term of the sequence 2, 1498 is 4,802? Anthony, which formula am I going to use? Paige. Anthony, which formula am I going to use? The geometric one. Charlie, do I know what AN is? Yes. 4,802 goes in for AN. Mariah, what goes in for A1? 2. Kirsten, do I know R or can I figure it out? Good, I can figure it out. Kirsten, am I subtracting or dividing? Dividing. So 14 divided by 2, anybody? 7. And Jessica, do I know my N? Nope, so I put N minus 1. All right, Connor, what do you do next to figure out what N is? Very good. Divide by 2 first. All right, Chase, where is N right now? How do you get it out? Take a log. Okay, so I'm going to write log on both sides. Again, once you get the hang of it, you are welcome to skip some steps, but for now, I'm going to write it all the way out so people can see what's happening. Okay. All right, Jonah, do you know what I can do with this n minus 1 now? What can I do with this n minus 1 now that I have a log? I can put it in front. So n minus 1 log of 7. Jose, what do you do next? Very good. Divide your logs. All right. What do you get here? And Connor, what do you have to do last? Add 1. Well, 5 equals n. So what does the 5 mean? It's the 5th term. Okay? All right, any questions on those two? All right, flip it over. All right. A series just means the sum of a sequence. So for these other blanks, what do you think the S is? Sum. What is A1? First term. What is R? And then R to the N is just the ratio to the nth degree. And N stands for the same thing. What does N stand for? The number of terms. Okay. Can anybody fill in the reminder? Good. Put parentheses. Good. Around any R that is a negative. Nope. Fraction. All right. Number 1, A1 is 8, R is -3, N is 7. So these are words that are important. The sum and the word geometric. So as you can see on the board, we're starting to get a lot of formulas on here, okay? So when it says geometric, I know I'm looking on this side of the board, okay? And when it says sum, I'm using the Brown formula, okay? So that's helping me decide what formulas to use. So S equals, what goes in for A1? 8. Parentheses 1 minus, what is R? So it gets its own set of parentheses. You have to put another set in there or the calculator will screw it up. So -3 is your R. What is your N? 7. Do I subtract 1? No. This one is just N. It's not N minus 1. So you keep it at 7. Outside the -3, parentheses, but inside of that one. Okay? And then on the bottom, 1 minus, that's what the formula says to do, 1 minus, again, -3 gets its own set. Again, in your calculator, you've got a couple different ways you can do it. Let me show you the way I like to do it. I like to type in just the top. 8 parentheses 1 minus parentheses -3 parentheses. The 7 goes on the outside, so caret key to the 7, and I press enter. Okay, so that gives me the top. Then I press divide and I type in the bottom, 1 minus -3. All right, and that gives you your answer. If you want to type it all in at one time, then you would really need to add another set, which I don't like to do. Okay, I'd rather just type in the top, press enter, then press divide and type in the bottom. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. You good? Okay. All right. B, A1 is 1,280, A9 is 5. So they're asking for the sum. So I'm going to put S equals, I don't know the sum. I know A1. What is A1 on this one? Yep. 1 minus, do I know R? No, I don't know R. So let me stop. Anybody know how I'm going to get R? Yes, you're going to have to do the first formula. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to do the first formula to get R. Okay. Mariah, what would go in for AN? 5. So right here, that's where she's getting that from, 5. A1 we know is 1280. We don't know R. And Jessica, what is my N minus 1? 8. Very good. So she got that from right here. This little number was 9, minus 1 gives you 8. Okay. All right. Caitlin, what do you have to do next right here? Anybody? What you got? And Samantha, how do you get rid of the 8th power? Take 8th root. Yep, 8th root. 0.5? Okay, so R is 0.5. When I go back up here, now I'm going to plug in 0.5 into this formula. You don't have to put parentheses around it. You can, but you don't have to. You only have to use extra parentheses when it's a decimal or a fraction. So 0.5. Jacob, to what power? What's our N? So this one, you don't do N minus 1. It's just N. So it'd be 9. And then on the bottom, 1 minus 0.5. Okay. So once again, when I type it in my calculator, I like to just do the top first. 1280 parentheses 1 minus 0.5 to the 9th power. Press enter. Divided by 1 minus 0.5. All right. 2555555. Anybody have a question? Okay, part C. Keith, what are we starting with? Red or brown? What formula do you want to use? All right, let's start with brown because it is asking for the sum. So S equals, Chase, what goes in for A1? 4. One minus, Anthony, do I know R or can I find it? How would I find it? Yep, divide these. 24 divided by 4, what is that, y'all? 6, so R is 6. And Charlie, do I know N? No. I'm going to write it for right now just so I can make a point here. Okay, so I have a letter and a letter. Is that solvable? No. So I am going to have to use the red formula. Okay, use the red formula. Let's see. Austin, what goes in for AN? And we know A1 is 4. We know R is 6. And we don't know N. Okay. All right, Keelan, what do you do next? Very good. Divide by 4. Somebody help me with that. Like that? Oh. Tanner, where is N? Where's N? So what do you have to do? Take the log. If n is in the exponent, you have to take the log. So I am going to skip one step here. I'm going to write log 7776 equals. I'm going to go ahead and put n minus 1 in front because I know that's the whole point of the problem. Okay. Kayla, what do you think I'm going to do next? Anybody? What you got? 5? And Jonah, what do you do last? Right here. Plus 1. So n is 6. Okay. All right, I'm still not done. Remember, they wanted me to find the sum. Gracie, what do I have to do next? Good. So right here, instead of n, I'm going to put a 6. And now I can type it in my calculator. All right. You got to put parentheses around that part or it gives you the wrong answer. All right, what do we got? 3. 37,324. Okay, good. All right, anybody have a guess on how we're going to do D? Yeah, we're going to put it in the calculator. All right, what do you think we're going to do in the calculator? Second stat, over to math, down to sum, second stat, OPS, down to sequence. All right, does anybody have a calculator that looks like mine where it has like the list stacked on top of each other? Okay, if so, make sure you type it in like this. You got to type in 2, parentheses 3, close your parentheses, caret key, but then you have to put x minus 1 in its own set of parentheses. X minus 1. Okay. My variable is x. What is my start number? 4. What's my end number? 18, and the step is 1. All right, those of you who have a different calculator, you want to do a 2, parentheses 3, caret key x minus 1. How do you get down from the exponent? Yep, you use this key right here to get down from the exponent. And then comma x, comma 4, comma 18, comma 1. You get a really big number. Okay, anybody else having calculator issues? Mariah, are you good? Okay. All right, last 2 problems on notes. Kirsten, read this one for us. Good. Cole, what word should I circle?
Is that right?
Yes. Okay. Yes, you are right. We're circling sum. So we're going to use the Brown formula. Olivia, do I know what the sum is?
39,000.
Equals, guys, do I know A1? No. 1 minus, do I know R? It's 3. The ratio is 3. Do I know N? 8. We'll get to it after this. If you just want to pay attention to these two, and then I can help you. And then on the bottom, 1 minus what? 3. Okay. All right, I've only got one letter, so is it solvable? Yes, it is solvable. What am I trying to get by itself? A1. A couple of different things you can do. I like to kind of go ahead and do this part in my head. What is 1 minus 3? -2. So this is divide by -2. So what do I need to do to get rid of it? Multiply by -2. All right, somebody tell me what that gives you. 7 what? Thank you. Equals A1 parentheses 1 minus 3 to the 8th. Okay. All right, what's still with A1? So how do I get rid of all that? I can get rid of it all at one time. Divide it. Use those parentheses though. 1 minus 3 to the 8th. So you can divide by all of it as long as you use parentheses. Anybody? All right, last one. The first term is -3. The common ratio is 4. How many terms were added together to get a sum of -16,383? Hope, what word should I circle? Sum? Is there a mistake? This gives you a negative, just this part, and so a negative by a negative ends up a positive. Paige, which formula, red or brown? Brown. Olivia, do I know the sum?
Yes.
Equals, Mariah, do I know A1? Parentheses 1 minus, Kirsten, do I know R? Very good. Kayla, do I know N? Yeah, that's R. Nope. So I'll put an N. And then on the bottom, 1 minus 4. So I got numbers. I just have one letter. So is it solvable from here? Yes. You don't need to use the other formula. It's solvable from here. What is 1 minus 4? Okay. Now, you can multiply by -3 like we did on the other one. Does anybody see a shortcut right here? The -3's cancel. If you don't notice that and you work it out, you'll get the same answer, okay? But that is a shortcut. The -3's cancel on this one. They don't always do that, but on this one they do. So let's roll with it. So -16383 equals 1 minus 4 to the n. I'm going to drop the parentheses now since there's nothing that I'm multiplying by with it. So I'm going to drop the parentheses. Okay, what letter are we trying to get by itself? N. What number can move right now before I do anything else? What number can I get rid of? The 1. The 1 is positive. How do you get rid of a positive 1? You subtract it. So that gives you -16384 equals -4 to the n. Your negatives cancel. The calculator will give you an error if you do log and then a negative. So otherwise I would just say yes, Jonah, but the calculator doesn't like them. Okay, where's n? It's in the exponent, so you have to take the log. So log of 16384 equals log 4 to the n. Charlie, what can I do with that n now? Where can it go? Where can this n go? In front. So it drops down right there. And Jessica, what's beside of n? How do I get rid of log 4? Divide it. What do you got?